With just how big the Mario series is, it's no surprise the fact that Mario was in so many different genres. Heck, Mario Kart is considered its own separate series entirely, mainly because of the fact that it's so different from mainline Mario titles, and because it makes way so much money. But beyond that, there's one subsection of Mario games that always seem to have been given the short end of the stick until now, a series that was so devoid of creativity and passion to the point where people thought the series died a long time ago, to now being revived and being promoted in the forefront alongside Mario's other games, the Mario RPGs. Mario's RPGs date back all the way to the Super Nintendo days with Super Mario RPG, a game inspired and created by Square Enix. And I don't really need to explain why this game is popular. You just need to know the name Geno alone and the fact that he came from this game to understand the cult following that this game has. Mario RPG was considered a really big ground setter for not only RPGs, but also Mario games, introducing a very interesting and unique to itself counter-based combat system that people seem to enjoy to this day. And to add insult to injury, this is also where a lot of people in the fandom considered this to be the glorious haymaker of Mario games that has the best character writing, some of the best characters, some of the best gameplay, even for RPG standards. And did you know that starting from this game onward, the RPG series will continue to flourish and thrive? Now, of course, due to the falling out to the N64, Square and Nintendo couldn't really continue to make games for each other, with the exception of a few ports of lesser known Square Enix titles and handheld remakes of Final Fantasy games. I don't know about those, we don't talk about that. However, from Mario RPG, two other RPG games were born. Paper Mario, the most popular one of the two, one that needs no introduction on home consoles, and the Mario and Luigi games. I'll get back to those later. But for now, all you need to know is that these were the birth of some of the best moments in the Mario series. Paper Mario 1, or better known in Japan as Mario Story, was a game entirely taking advantage of the paper box cutout aesthetic that this series is known for. But it also has some very good gameplay and very good storytelling as well. The first game's plot is simple, being a traditional Mario saves Bowser from Peach scenario. But what makes it so interesting is the fact that Mario gets accompanied by side characters with their own individual stories and character arcs throughout the game. And in between chapters, you even get to play as Peach and see as she completely decimates the stereotype of her being a damsel in distress by actively trying to help Mario find where they are and come save her. Alongside that, you got some of the best soundtracks in all of gaming composed by Koji Kondo. That guy cannot miss when it comes to making music for any game he touches. I swear to God, bringing that platformy Mario feel into the RPG section, along with a ragtag team of characters and all the other good bells and whistles that comes with an RPG that allows you to counter and react to how enemies attacked in the stage, also allowing you to perform extra inputs to increase the amount of damage you do in game. These small things will add to a big picture for not only the gameplay, but the story of Paper Mario games as well. As simple as they are, they tell some of the best, giving everyone a lot of the characterization that they're known for today. Mario takes the role as a silent protagonist, but his charisma of adventuring, being athletic, and helping people out in their times of need really shines through here. If there's one thing to love about these games, it is Bowser. Bowser steals the show. Anytime that he's on screen, you listen, you pay attention because he's gonna crack you up or intimidate you, which is honestly kind of refreshing for his character. And the wide range of diverse designed and diverse characters that you interact with are very, very, very Mario in terms of familiar species or brand new species created for the sole purpose of this experience. The series would get better with the Thousand Year Door releasing on the GameCube. This game is considered the pinnacle of Mario RPGs, and for great reason. It basically gives the story a lot more dire stakes by introducing a bunch more plot elements, giving more character development, even giving Peach more to do in her in-between chapters like before. And of course, Bowser will always steal the show, like always, because it's Bowser. And making the world you travel, the puzzles you do, and the combat you engage in all the more rewarding to play. It's like they struck gold, and for some reason, that was the problem. Because then we get introduced to Super Paper Mario on the Wii. Now, personally, Super Paper Mario, in my opinion, is one of the peak Mario games in terms of its story, but its gameplay was so drastically different that a lot of people seem to not like it, although that notion may or may not be true anymore. I'm not sure. I have to figure that out. Regardless, apparently the general consensus from the general public, not the Mario fans, like I said, I don't know, was the fact that Super Paper Mario was really weird and really bizarre. And strangely enough, this would cause one of the biggest ripple effects to ever affect the Mario spin-off series. And I'll get into that in just a second. Real quick, I just want to say thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the support on these videos. I love you all very much, and I got more planned in the future. Anyway, during the era of the 3DS, Paper Mario Sticker Star released. And let's just say that it was one of the many examples that the early 2010s era of Nintendo games released for the 3DS and the Wii U did more damage than harm when it came to piquing people interested in the Mario series, or any other series for that matter. Basically, take everything great about the RPGs that I already listed and throw them out the window. The characterization is gone, Bowser doesn't even speak. Yes, a Mario RPG spinoff where Bowser doesn't speak. It's so wrong. There's shiny MacGuffins to collect, but they're not even interesting. And for some reason, the story has a lot of focus on gag humor related to the fact that the Mario world in these games are indeed made out of paper, which was never really the point. It was just an aesthetic choice that also led to some fun puzzles and platforming. But other than that, it was just mainly a background drop for otherwise good storytelling, good character writing, good jokes, and good gameplay. But the major gameplay issue with Paper Mario Sticker Star, and that was something that would affect the remaining Mario RPGs going forward, was the fact that combat just didn't feel like it was important at all. Like, how do you make a combat system that is so boring, takes away the point of being an RPG system, which is EXP, which you don't even get? Instead, in this game, you get cards. You get cards by fighting, but you can also find cards in shops and by interacting with the environment. Therefore, they have invalidated the one thing that would make their game interesting. And even then, they found even more ways to ruin it in its level design, bizarre puzzles, and overusage of mainline enemies, specifically Bowser Jr. and the Koopalings, who have been popular since the new Super Mario Bros. Series made them a new thing. Well, refresh is the better term for it, but you get what I'm saying. Paper Mario Color Splash seemed to be a step in the right direction, but it was just more Sticker Star, but on the Wii U. Bigger, more color. The only good thing you can really say about these games is that the soundtrack is really fire. But like I said, that's Koji Kondo doing all the work. Then we get to the most recent game, the Origami King, where they tease that they're having an RPG system that may or may not have combat in it, but they're just not there yet. It's like they were just so scared about it. And the main reason why a lot of people were mad about these games and the fact that they kept coming out was because of two very distinct articles. One where the creator said, oh, well, the Mario and Luigi series is still ongoing, and I'll get to that later, so we don't really need to make the Paper Mario series RPGs anymore. And two, see, the RPGs are very strict and they have their guidelines. Mario characters can't be diverse, or we can't make original characters or new species for the Mario universe to be in. And again, I'll get to that later. But before I do that and get back into the remakes for Thousand Year Door, let me circle back around and talk about the Mario and Luigi series. Another successor to Super Mario RPG, the Mario and Luigi series started its reign on the Game Boy Advance with Superstar Saga. What made this game different from the other Paper Mario games and Mario RPG in general was the fact that you would control Mario and Luigi simultaneously with the A button for Mario and the B button for Luigi, combining their moves and techniques together to explore the world and entertain yourself with a story so funny with characters so unique and diverse to the Mario series themselves. You would be very odd to say that these characters would feel out of place if it wasn't the fact that they were in a Mario game. Adding to all this wit and charm with how great these games were, besides their story writing, was also the series composer, Yoko Shimomura, who not only does a lot of music composer for Nintendo games, as well as a lot of the tracks in Smash Bros., she's also the composer of Xenoblade Chronicles and Kingdom Hearts, two of my favorite RPG series, honestly. Back on topic, another major selling point about these games is the fact that Luigi, he's actually important in these games, being not only the other playable character that has to fill in the role of pressing a button, but also where a lot of the humor lies in, as Luigi is either the butt of all jokes or making stuff work in the plot despite him being a big old coward. This was also around the time during the GameCube era where a lot of the Mario characters' major personalities that are what they're known for became what they are, and they were still experimenting with it though. Superstar Saga also was a critical success, mainly because of the fact that the Game Boy only really consisted of ports of old Mario games and Mario Brothers, which was ported in all these ports. I'm not, like I said, I don't get it and I don't know why, and I'm not gonna pretend like I do. Which one of those Mario ports that you guys have? Let me know in the comments. I have the port with Mario 2 USA. The Mario & Luigi series would also continue into the DS with Partners in Time and Bowser's Inside Story. Partners in Time, adding the baby Mario characters that use the X and Y buttons, but surprisingly no touchscreen. Then again, Alpha Dream apparently didn't really have much to use in terms of the prototype to the DS. So I guess it's a blessing and a curse that we never really got touchscreen controls for Partners in Time. Bowser's Inside Story makes up for it in droves. It is, in my opinion, the best of the Mario games. Mainly because of the fact that it is one of the few games that let Bowser actually be a playable character outside of like kart racers and go whatever. A lot of the story is focused on him taking back his castle from a serious returning character, Fawful, and well, on top of that, it makes the stakes a lot bigger than any other Mario game can make them feel. I think the only Mario game that even comes close to its scope of feel of how dire the situation is like the ending of Galaxy, right? And into the 3DS era, the Mario & Luigi series would continue to thrive, which is surprising considering how shaky Mario was in the Paper Mario series. But apparently it wasn't really that big of a deal. Although it did seem that Alpha Dream was losing steam a bit, especially considering that a major critique of the franchise is the fact that they overutilize tutorials. Even in a game like Dream Team, where by the end of the game's campaign, you're still learning new stuff. However, Dream Team did make it on the Nintendo Select system of games. For those who don't know, Nintendo Select games are usually games that are some of the best selling on their system. Then they knock them down for the price of $20. Dream Team was one of these games, and it's actually really fun. But the very next game would be the beginning of the end for Mario & Luigi, as that game was a crossover between that series and the modern Paper Mario games. A recipe that should have been something so grand and so unique, with all the original characters, concepts, gameplay all meshing together into one, just becoming nothing more than New Super Mario Brothers featuring the Paper Mario characters. And the Koopalings are there too, because of course they are. Alpha Dream will have 2 more games left in their bag, with a remake of Superstar Saga, which was really good, something that the series did need, as Superstar Saga was one of the only inaccessible games, considering it was released on the Game Boy Advance, and a remake of Bowser's Inside Story, which screamed desperate. Fun fact, this game released at the same time as the Switch already being out as a new product. So not only did it not sell well, it became the lowest selling Mario game to date. I'm talking worse than Mario games that were on the Virtual Boy. That is how bad it was for this game, which is really a shame because even as an unneeded remake, it's still a great game. But like I said, unneeded remake, very unneeded. Shortly after that game's launch and failure, Alpha Dream was shut down, giving all the rights of the original ideas of those games to Nintendo, which to this day, outside of I guess appearing in Smash Brothers, they have done nothing with. And the reason why, again, that I bring up those interviews from the Paper Mario devs is the fact that even with how Mario and Luigi were and how Paper Mario were, the Mario series will continue to expand and do creative things. I don't need to tell you guys about Super Mario Odyssey, that game speaks for itself, but the amount of diversity that game has with its characters, locale, gameplay mechanics, story even, etc., as minute as a story in a mainline Mario game can be, it still felt like something new and fresh, especially after several game generations of New Soup, New Soup 2, New Soup U, New Soup Luigi U. At least New Soup Wonder looks great. Oh, I can't wait to play that game. But yes, games like Odyssey was such a breath of fresh air. And then, out of left field nowhere, Ubisoft comes along with their Mario and Rabbids series, a series that, in lack of a better term, they were allowed to do whatever they want, as long as it wasn't a platformer, because Mario can only be the one doing platformers. So what do? They make an XCOM style game in the first one, and then a full-blown RPG in the second, along with, well, you know, interesting gameplay, interesting characters, an interesting story, and one of the best soundtrack composers of any video game ever. I'm talking like we get Halo, Kingdom Hearts, and Banjo-Kazooie all in one game. All in one game. Peak. All this adds up to RPG Mario fans being disappointed and sad and mad, as every new time there was an RPG Mario game or a spin-off Mario game that had just as much flair as the ones of the past, RPG fans were just feeling betrayed and hurt. Until recently. Now, with the most recent Nintendo Directs announced, we have gotten full-on remakes of Thousand Year Door and the original Mario RPG. Yes, the one made by Square, the one that kicked this whole ordeal off. And it is so nice and so refreshing to see them take these risks with these games, to the point where if you check their Twitter, they're right there on the pin. And the reason why this is so important for a lot of people, and a lot of reasons why RPG Mario fans are telling people about this, is because of the fact that RPG Mario never gets this amount of marketing. It's usually saved for the middle of the Direct, or even a random tweet on Twitter. That's what happened with Origami King, for crying out loud. But not this time. Nintendo knows that they're cooking with fire this time, as both of these RPGs mean so much to the people that played them. And even for the people who don't, they get to play some of the best Mario RPGs, period, on the Switch. And considering that it helped a series like Metroid sell way beyond what it ever's done in its entire franchise combined at this point, it's definitely a well-made investment. Now, to this point in time, there's been no announcement of a Mario & Luigi series. Then again, I get it, you would have to find a way to make all those DS handheld games work on the Switch. But if a game like Sushi Striker could work, I'm sure they could find a way to make it work, maybe. But that's only for time to tell. I just wanted to bring this up to explain to people that the Mario RPG series coming back and them being marketed this heavy is so important for this game's success, because Mario is finally leaving that era where everything is samey, colorful, and innocent and experiment free to more wide, wacky adventures, and these remakes are just one tip of a great iceberg. And if we want to see them, we have to support them. So if you ever do manage to find them in stores or want to buy them digitally, please do so. Please. Because these games deserve to be played and deserve to be loved by a new generation of fans. If you have any experience with these games, what kind of memories do you have with them? And what do you like about these games the most? Let me know in the comments too. I would love to read them. Anyway, thank you all for your patience on waiting for me to upload videos, and thank you for watching this video if you're just new to the channel. Consider being a part of the channel, and I'll check you all later. Thanks so much, and peace out. Dream on.